Alright, so, episode 4. And the trend continues. Man, and I so thought they had it. Amazing. It goes to show you how much Survivor can surprise you, grip you in, and then you think something is about to happen, and then suddenly the exact opposite happens. Amazing. Well, getting into analysis here. Let's start off with Calabout. Well, I predicted that they were actually going to be pretty much the safest tribe this episode, and I kind of was proven wrong because, now we've got like a sort of battle of the sexes starting to go on. We've got, Jonathan pointing Kent, and then Carter, out of nowhere, just pops in, and then he starts talking. Although I'm glad, though, that Kent's turning out to be the point where he's not putting out as many baseball references, like Dalton Ross was saying, he's just throwing them out, whatever. And Jonathan, like I figured, he's gonna get a hole in there. And it's like I said back in my first episode, everyone was against Jonathan because he's a returnee, and that was it. No other reason. Russell, personality. Screw the returnee factor, it was his personality. They don't even once mention that he's a returnee and that he really needs to go. They mention that I don't like him. Yeah, whatever. And then, like, they almost blow that immunity challenge. I so thought they were going, especially when Jeff missed that first Swede. And then the thing does what you never expected to do. It comes back. Amazing. So Calabout's doing pretty good. Tandane, they're just getting into even more self-destruct, which is why I predicted that if Matsine won, they would lose. Pete, he's stirring up all kinds of trouble, because, I mean, like, he's been debating a couple of ways to get rid of Scoopin', bring in Lisa, put RC and, what's-her-face, Abby, I can't remember the other girl's name, against each other, and then, Artis, he, just doing his thing. Mike, we haven't heard anything from him in a couple of episodes, except for Artis going, I want him gone because he just drove with that mask down when I did. Fine, I so want to see that tribe start losing and self-destructing over there. Yeah, that'll be a sight to see. Make the game pretty dang interesting and put Calabout farther along, because I gotta be honest, after this episode, they're the tribe I'm placing my bets on. I don't have a player from that tribe I want to see win, or like the entire game, but I want to see Calabout do good. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention about Calabout. You know how the girls were doing that talk, and like how we've got Jeff, Jonathan, and Carter in the water and all that? Why is it that Kelly, I think her name is, didn't spout out that Jeff Kent is Jeff Kent? She mentioned that like in the first episode that she knew it was Jeff Kent within 5 minutes. Why didn't she tell them? Why? I don't get it. That just really stood out to me. And then Matt saying, well, they lose the challenge, and then they go there, and then no one finds the idol. I'm totally amazed by that. But the amazing thing is, Malcolm and Denise aren't looking for it. Now, they all kind of smart, because even though they don't mention this on screen, if they're not looking at it, I mean, for it, they're trying to put Russell in a safer mode and all that, and then eventually get rid of him, which is what they did. But it's odd, though, that they're not looking for it. And then Russell's voted tribal council totally surprised me. I thought he was going to go for Denise to keep the manpower going, which is what he's been doing basically this whole time. So Russell goes, well, I said that out of the 3 returnees, he was going to be to have the toughest time acquiring a spot within the season, and I was proven right. And it's due to the fact that, one, his tribe is just stupid. Well, half his tribe is stupid, sorry. And then his personality factor just goes all over the place. Honestly, Russell, even You just, you had a chance, dude, and you blew it big time. So I'm sorry to see him go, but at the same time, he ain't deserved it. Yeah. Amazing. Well, that's all about the episode, so let's talk about next episode. So the preview and Jeff's Q&A and Dalton Ross's recap don't give us any hint that they're making the tribes from 3 to 2, which totally surprises me, because that leads to theoretically Maxine going to tribal again, and then they could say, oh, we've got one more tribal challenge to play out, and there's only one person for the third tribe. Now, theoretically, they could redesign it, and I've also read from Dalton Ross's recap that due to the fact that the contestants are getting a ton of weather, a lot of the water challenges are being scrapped, which I totally hate. I mean, like, we've gone an entire third of the entire show's run time without legit water challenges, and when we have a hope of seeing a lot more water challenge, that hope just goes gone. And I hate that. I mean, like, the whole reason I was totally into, like, most of the old school seasons when they first started was because of flippin' water challenges. And that's one of the main reasons people love, Kugai Lens and, Micronesia, all the water challenges and what you need to do. And, dang it! Just when I thought one of the best aspects of Survivor was coming back, it just gets shut down. Thankfully, Survivor 26 is being there, so if that doesn't have a ton of water challenges, I'm gonna be pissed. I won't stop watching the show, but we need to be in the water. We need to do that again, and we need to stay there. That's one of the things people want. So, based on the preview, and Malcolm saying I feel like an idiot, he and Denise find the idol. I mean, like, if they don't find it, I'm personally just going to, theoretically. So they're going to find the idol, totally. That's all I can talk about them. Tandang, they're just going to self-destruct even more, and just let them self-destruct. Who gives about them? I just want to see them self-destruct. Callabao, I'm confident that, that supposed battle of the sexist is going to calm down, but I don't know if it's going to happen before or after Kent's pulled from the game. Now I know what you're thinking. Just because, Jeff shows up doesn't mean he's pulled from the game. Oh, really? Guys, name 2 times, I say 2 for a reason, I'll tell you why in a second, that Jeff has showed up at the tribe camp when there's a medical situation, or a player on the verge of quitting situation, where the player didn't get pulled, and I'll give you one of them. Boston Rob, Heroes vs. Villains, where he just right on the ground in episode 2. Okay? I'll give you one. Name another. I thought so. So, really, Kent's going because Jeff mentions in his recap emotional and game-changing. Voila. Kent goes. And it's obviously Kent because even if they didn't show Kent sitting down in the shelter going like that, you could tell by the size of the knee that it's not Jonathan, because Jonathan's legs are thicker than that, and I think also a tad bit shorter, and the girls, of course, are way thinner than Kent is, and Carter's thinner than Kent. It's Kent. So, what do I predict? Next episode overall, I predict that, the idol's found at Mad Scene. Kent gets pulled for the game, unfortunately. If he stays, then that's a real big plus. And if, the tribes stay 3 tribes, Mad Scene or Tandang goes to tribal. If the tribes go down to 2, I'd hope that Tandang goes. And if there happens to be 2 tribes next episode, how do I think that they'll just combine it? I personally think that, having a challenge is worthless, because, well, I mean, like, it's just 2 people. You could argue just split them up. Now, that does kind of make it unfair to them, so there probably will be a challenge privilege. I don't think it's going to be like as much, as big as like the All-Star one, but I don't know. So I'm predicting that they're going to go to 2, just based on how many people left and all the kinds of things like that. That's all I can mention for this episode. Pretty interesting how this season's starting to shape up. Oh, and I have to get something out of the way before I get called out on this. I haven't yet, but I'm pretty sure I will. The fact that I'm wearing a Giants hat in these videos is purely coincidental. So I decided at the beginning of the day whether or not I'm going to wear a hat or not. And this is pretty much the only hat I own. And I'm not as big of a Giants fan as I used to be, so if anyone's just like, oh, you're just supporting Carlisle, or not saying bad things about Jeff Kent because you like his team, no, okay? Now, I did see Jeff Kent play years ago, before I really got my mind into the game. Back then, I was just a blind fanboy, just supporting them over, like, everything. Ugh. I'm not like that anymore. I'm still a Giants fan, not as big as I used to be, but, right. So if anyone's going about saying that I support Carlisle or Jeff Kent or trying to show favoritism by this, I am not. Okay? I personally was not expecting to like Jeff going into the season, alright? And also it coincidentally happens to be that Jonathan and Carlisle are my favorite tribes. Okay? Oh, and there's one other thing that I need to mention. Russell's comment. Okay, this is hilarious. And just like, you're talking to God or something, Russell. I'm talking to God, Lord. I mean, Jeff. Oh god, that is so funny. Jeff Probst, Lord of Survivor. Gotta read to it, don't you think? Yeah, come on, guys. The child's going, Lord. Okay, I know I'm kind of making fun of Russell and the term Lord, but it's funny. I'm sorry if I've offended anyone, but I just find that funny. I'm sorry. Okay. I so hope that becomes a gag that Penner uses. Penner better remember this one. He better. Okay, so it was a good episode. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.